Yu is a talentless weakling who lost his mother before mending their bond. Forced to live with three of the school's most celebrated beauties, he vows to fulfill his mother's wish of creating a happy family. Determined, he charms the girls into forming his harem family. It begins at Seika Academy, where prodigies refine their gifts. Yu, newly transferred, is humiliated on his first day by the vice captain of the martial arts club. In front of the crowd, the vice captain ridicules him as a worthless coward, while others scorn him for failing to uphold the legacy of his mother, Subaru, a renowned actress and embodiment of excellence. The vice captain demands Yu prove his worth before the three royals, the academy's top students. Enraged, Yu retorts, refusing to be compared to his mother, and charges recklessly. Without plot armor, his feeble punch earns him a swift defeat, drawing contempt as onlookers mock the son of the great Subaru. Yet Yu, accustomed to such derision, reflects on his constant failures. Suddenly, he rebukes the vice captain, urging him to abandon his obsession with talent. For a fleeting moment, the man falters, sensing Yu's inherited charisma, but Yu, indifferent to the outcome, walks away. Recognizing the danger of Yu's lack of ability, the vice captain seizes him, intent on beating greatness into him. At that instant, he is kicked aside by the martial arts club president, Miko, one of the three royals and the academy's finest fighter. Immediately after, the other royals appear: Miwa, the star of the advanced program and a chess prodigy, and Kazuki, the art department's brightest talent and unrivaled theater actor. Yu trembles before them, bewildered by their presence. Kazuki steps forward, and upon discovering his utter lack of talent, coldly declares that Yu has no place in a school reserved for the gifted. To their surprise, he presents his accepted application for the school's general education program. The girls, accustomed only to elite studies, are baffled by its existence. Noticing their dismissive reaction, Yu turns to leave for his class, but Nico halts him, ordering him to clean the dojo. Yu resists, declaring he is no servant, yet Nico retorts that failures must clean. Reluctantly, Yu complies. When the martial arts team later enters, they are stunned by the dojo's immaculate state. Meanwhile, on his way to his new home, Yu reflects on his lifelong yearning for praise, akin to his gifted mother. At first, he honed his acting, believing he had reached the caliber of The Rock. But upon witnessing his mother perform with the brilliance of Denzel, he realized he was but a talentless amateur. Still, he pursued various fields to prove himself, yet each failure widened the gap between them. When Subaru fell gravely ill, Yu finally recognized the distance he had created from the only family he had. In the hospital, she repeatedly watched her film series where she portrayed a devoted mother in a joyful family. Yu admitted his fondness for the show, and Subaru confessed the same. When she asked what he loved about it, he mentioned the dinner scenes, and she revealed those were her favorites too. In that moment, Yu understood that beyond her immense talent, what Subaru truly desired was a family like the one in that series. Before Yu could fulfill his greatest wish, Subaru passed away, leaving him a note wishing for him to have his own happy family. Though uncertain how to achieve it, Yu vows to realize it and atone for all he and his mother lost. He arrives at the residence where he will stay, an opulent, sprawling mansion. Suddenly, Nico appears, clad only in towels, assaulting him while accusing him of being a creep and a burglar. Yu quickly denies it, but Nico demands an explanation. She then slips, landing in a compromising position. Instead of helping her, Yu taunts her with his aura. When she attempts to strike him, he throws a towel over her head and begins drying her. As she resists, he hushes her to calm down, and she reluctantly allows him to dry her hair. Moments later, the other two sisters return and surround Yu, demanding answers. Yu himself is bewildered, wondering why the three royals are here. At that moment, his phone rings. The mansion's owner explains Yu will live there as a favor to his late mother, and reveals he has 3 daughters residing within. He hopes Yu will get along with them and that his talent will flourish, preserving his mother's legacy. Yu realizes his dream of building a happy family is already shattered, as the sisters reject him outright. They cannot believe their father took in a stray failure, and they refuse to care for him. Yet Yu remains convinced there is hope for them to become a true family and strives to win them over. He suddenly notices something on the floor, but Kazuki swiftly snatches it before he can. At that moment, he surveys the house and realizes it is in complete disarray. The sink overflows with dirty dishes, and the sisters blame Kazuki for neglecting her chores. She excuses herself, claiming she was too occupied with theater rehearsals. However, Yu discovers broken plates concealed nearby, revealing Kazuki did attempt the task but shattered everything in the process, leaving her flustered. Soon after, Yuki hauls out piles of filthy laundry, exposing Miwa's failure to complete her own duties. Irritated, Miwa orders Yu to handle it, and he accepts without complaint. Yu then points out that Nico is responsible for house cleaning, which she has clearly neglected. Enraged by his ridicule, the three royals lash out, mocking his incompetence at school. While they bicker, Yu gets to work. To their astonishment, he restores order, cleaning the entire mess while they continue taunting him. Nico recalls he was the one who had cleaned the dojo before. With a confident grin and striking presence, Yu captivates them all. They quickly regroup to resist his charms. The next morning, Yu eagerly anticipates a day off, but the house suddenly trembles. Nico is already engaged in intense dojo training at dawn. He then finds Miwa frustrated while practicing shogi against an AI, and Kazuki in the kitchen concocting a sinister green juice like a mad chemist. When Yu questions them, Kazuki explains these are their morning routines. Just as he brushes his teeth, they each follow their own regimen. She then informs him they will all be heading out and asks him to watch the house. Hoping to foster family bonds, Yu suggests breakfast together, but Kazuki coldly declines, insisting she must attend rehearsal. He then turns to Miwa, only to find her snacking on junk food while practicing shogi. When he tries to stop her, he senses a powerful aura and is reminded of his mother, who often brushed him off at breakfast, relying instead on her pre-cooked diet meals. Suddenly, Kamaniko emerges from training, drooling at the food, but when Yu offers her some, she refuses. Even as he teases her, she retorts that his meal lacks proper balance. Yu is baffled by her fixation on breakfast, but she explains that to be the best, she must fuel herself with optimal nutrition. He then realizes that unlike ordinary people like himself, prodigies, his mother and the sisters alike, are so driven that every action, even eating, is directed toward perfecting their talents, just as Miwa devours sweets to fuel her mind. Just then, the sisters rush outside to begin their day, but Yu halts them. He tells them they forgot something, sending all three into a frantic search through their belongings. When they find nothing missing, they angrily shout at him. Yu calmly tells them they are mistaken, and with warmth bids them a heartfelt goodbye, reminding them that was what they had forgotten. Stunned, the sisters dismiss it as foolish, yet as they walk away, each blushes. Never before had anyone sent them off so affectionately. Soon after, Yu receives a call from their father, checking on him. He asks Yu to serve as his daughter's helping hand, explaining that though prodigies, they will inevitably face obstacles, and by assisting them, Yu can earn their trust. He mentions Kazuki's difficult audition, Nico's martial arts tournament, and Miwa's upcoming shogi match, presenting Yu an opportunity to support them. Yu doubts how someone as talentless as himself could aid such gifted individuals. But when he imagines their failures, he recalls his own pain, the disappointment he brought to his mother. Determined, he resolves to help, beginning with the simple act of sharing meals together. Later, after martial arts practice, Nico returns home to find Yu cooking. Forgetting they live together, she bursts out in shock. When she sees him tasting his own dish, she screams at how attractive he looks. Yu offers Nico a taste of his cooking. Though tempted, she regains composure and refuses, declaring she will not be tamed by his food. She leaves for a beauty shower, and upon returning, finds Yu cooking with even greater intensity, surrounded by cookbooks. Soon after, Miwa appears, and Yu boldly proclaims he will prepare the finest meals for them. The sisters dismiss him, reminding Nico of how they had always rejected their housemaid's cooking. She firmly believed controlling her diet was essential to remain in peak form. Yet, as she eats her plain chicken breast, curiosity overtakes her. She peeks at Yu's dish and instantly drools at the gourmet spread before her. Yu emerges, passionately explaining how the meal contains all the nutrients she needs to achieve peak condition. Under his persistence, Nico agrees to try it. Exhausted, Yu collapses, telling her the menu was crafted from dietitian recommendations just for her. Blushing, she realizes the effort he made on her behalf. When she finally takes a bite, she praises his cooking, and Yu imagines it as taming a stray cat with milk. Meanwhile, Kamamiwa secretly watches, drooling with envy. When she steps closer, Yu also presents her with food, explaining it contains the precise acids to maximize her brain power. Miwa agrees to eat, and Nico realizes Yu also prepared the meal with Miwa's interests in mind. As they dine, the sisters remark how long it has been since they last shared a meal, and Yu smiles at their interaction. Suddenly, Kazuki appears, puzzled to see her sisters eating together. As before, Yu eagerly explains how his cooking would benefit her, enhancing her complexion for theater. To his shock, Kazuki coldly rejects him. Nico tries to support Yu, but Kazuki insists communal dining is not for her, reminding him of a cat refusing food. The rejection leaves Yu disheartened, and Nico feels guilty, knowing how much effort he put into the meal. She takes the food from his hand and eats it herself. Yet Yu abruptly remarks that Kazuki's meal is loaded with carbs that would make her gain weight, angering Nico, who was trying to be kind. Yu quickly reassures her that he will track her nutrition, making Nico blush deeply. 3 days later, Yu begins school, still uncertain how to reach Kazuki and fulfill their father's wish to support his daughters. Resolving to confront her directly, he approaches while she is surrounded by adoring fangirls. They all recognize Yu as the talentless outcast, and Kazuki joins in mocking him. Suddenly, Yu pleads with Kazuki to stop rejecting his advances and accept his special gift, food he believes will delight her. Yet while he means the meal, the others misconstrue it as something indecent, demanding Kazuki explain why she entertains a loser. Humiliated, Yu flees. Seeking aid, he approaches Nico to get closer to Kazuki, but when he calls to her, she only recalls how easily he unsettles her. Her friends confront Yu for acting familiar with Nico, but Nico herself appears, radiating an overwhelming aura that terrifies them all. Yu bolts again, turning to his final resort, Miwa. Meanwhile, Miwa, immersed in shogi on her phone, overhears classmates struggling with a math problem and solves it effortlessly. Instead of admiration, they respond with intimidation at her intellect. When Yu arrives, he notices how, unlike her sisters, Miwa remains quiet and withdrawn at school. He tries to engage her and invites her to lunch, but she refuses and walks away. Unwilling to relent, Yu chases her, sparking a frantic pursuit across campus, all because he insists on sharing lunch. Exhausted, they collapse together, and Yu realizes Miwa is just as poor athletically as he is. Observing her silence in class, he asks why. She admits that, as one of the 3 royals, she struggles to connect with others or discuss trivial matters. Yu relates, claiming he too is a royal, though a royal failure, inept in everything. At this, Miwa giggles, calling him an idiot. After settling down, they share lunch, and Miwa advises Yu that to win Kazuki over, he must discover her favorite dish. She recalls how, as children, Kazuki once asked their mother for a special meal. Yu realizes her favorite food is their mother's cooking. Later at home, Yu attempts to prepare something special when Kazuki enters and collapses before him. They discover she has a severe fever. Though the others try to care for her, she expels them from her room, rejecting their help. Yu refuses to yield and plans to deliver food, but Kazuki dismisses every attempt, calling them vile, which enrages him. He storms into her room with his cooking. When she tries to push him out, her weakness causes her to fall onto him. Yu warns her that she will miss rehearsals if this continues, and proposes to act as her rehearsal partner until she recovers. He boasts of being the son of the great actress Subaru and claims to have acted since childhood. For a moment, Kazuki suspects she might be in the presence of hidden greatness. Yet once Yu begins reading lines, he sounds like a dying cow and is promptly expelled for incompetence. Still, he persists, returning day after day to act alongside her, only to be thrown out each time. Kazuki grows vexed that, unlike her flawless and dependable self, Yu remains pathetic and unreliable. One night, Kazuki descends to find Yu watching her performances on television while rehearsing lines to improve. She feels moved by his effort. Though still a terrible actor, his persistence earns her respect. The next day, Yu returns to her room to rehearse. Remembering the night before, Kazuki refrains from expelling him and instead joins in. Yu is touched, and to their astonishment, he delivers one line flawlessly. Overcome, he weeps, grateful to finally act well after more than 10 years. Kazuki, though envious of his passion for struggle, admits defeat and agrees to eat his cooking for recovery. Yu exults, vowing to craft a masterpiece, but Kazuki halts him with a request. Curling shyly in bed, she gathers courage and confesses her distaste for carrots, mushrooms, bell peppers, and more. Yu realizes she has simply been a picky eater all along. The next morning, Miwa and Nico are stunned to see Kazuki join dinner after a week of refusals. Yu praises her for finishing, and Kazuki beams, until Yu whispers that he blended carrots into the meal, leaving her twitching in disbelief. Yu rejoices, proud to have tamed all 3 kittens through his cooking. Suddenly, they tell him not to prepare dinner anymore. When asked why, they explain they will be eating out due to their respective practices and engagements. When they leave, Yu recalls how his mother often did the same, avoiding home for months, straining their bond. He recognizes that, like her, the 3 sisters are brilliant yet consumed by obsession, while he remains a talentless failure. He remembers their father's plea to support his daughters, and his mother's wish for him to find a happy family, yet realizes he has no idea what truly defines one. He turns on his mother's television drama, where she plays a devoted mother in a blissful household, and a smile flickers as he watches the warmth unfold. When the family on screen prepares a wedding ceremony for their children, Yu grows conflicted, unsettled by the sight of his mother in a bridal gown. Just then, the sisters return from their activities. Seeing Yu in tears before the screen, Kazuki assumes he longs for his mother. With rare gentleness, she tells him he need not force himself with chores to win their favor. The others concur, reminding him he is merely a freeloader, words that cut deep. Rising to his feet, Yu declares that he refuses to be 1A's with his mother. Yu once believed their gulf in talent made bonding impossible, yet he realizes they shared much in common. Before reconciliation could form, Subaru passed away, and Yu refuses to let the same fate sever his bond with the sisters. He declares his wish to build a happy family with them, leaving all stunned. Nico scoffs at the absurdity and demands his plan. Just then, the television displays Subaru's wedding scene, and the sisters instantly conclude that Yu could form a happy family only by marrying them. They begin imagining themselves in bridal gowns, yet quickly snap in irritation, telling him he will never claim them as a husband. Later in the bath, Nico reflects on Yu's strength, marveling at his composure, living with 3 alluring girls while maintaining his discipline. Suddenly, Yu screams. When she checks, she finds him weeping over something trivial and scolds him for ruining her bath time. He retorts, chastising her for wearing only a towel and risking a chill, which leaves her flustered as she dashes back into the bathroom. Suddenly, Nico bumps into Miwa, who instantly notices the crimson hue on her face. Though Nico tries to conceal it, Miwa suspects Yu is involved. At that moment, Yu hands Miwa her laundry, and when their fingers brush, she startles, dropping everything. Nico teases her blush, accusing her of liking Yu, which Miwa vehemently denies, sparking an argument as both refuse to admit feelings for him. Kazuki then appears, mocking them for quarreling over a pathetic weakling like Yu. Yet when Yu asks her to place a pan on the top shelf, she obliges, and his warm thanks makes her secretly blush, something the other sisters instantly notice, igniting another dispute. Yu interrupts, scolding them for fighting without cause, only to further irritate all 3. After they leave, he grows annoyed at the mess, but feels pride remembering they had at least shared a meal together. Suddenly, he discovers an old photograph of the sisters, marveling at how adorable they once looked. Realizing it must belong to one of them, he asks, yet none admit ownership. Yu realizes the true owner of the photo is concealing her wish for the sisters to return to how things once were, sharing his same desire for a happy family. The next morning, before he can confirm it, the sisters announce they will be away for competitions over the weekend, leaving him without answers. Checking their destinations, Yu conceives a plan to draw them closer. That night, he prepares warm milk and informs them he has booked hotel rooms for the weekend. Miwa protests, claiming she despises hotel food, but Yu teases her for missing his cooking, leaving her flustered while the others silently admit they will miss it. The following day, the girls depart. At her shogi tournament, Miwa effortlessly dominates her opponents, affirming her brilliance. On her way to the hotel, she passes a cherry blossom festival, recalling when she once visited with her sisters. Upon arrival, she is stunned to find Kazuki also checking in. As they question each other's presence, Nico suddenly appears, equally perplexed. They realize they all traveled to the same city for their respective events. At that moment, Yu arrives, disappointed they were unaware of each other's whereabouts. He reveals they will be sharing a single room. When questioned, he explains it is the perfect chance to bond like true sisters. He then declares himself their festival conductor, insisting they visit the Cherry Blossom Festival as in the past. Instead of gratitude, the sisters scold him for making foolish plans on the eve of their competitions, but he attempts to win them over by suggesting a visit to a shrine said to grant luck. Nico dismisses Yu's idea, claiming true champions need no luck. But when Yu cites legends like Messi, LeBron, Emin, and Johnny Sins visiting shrines for fortune, the sisters reconsider. He then shows them images of the festival food, far more enticing than hotel fare. Kazuki is first to agree, though she insists they must dress with proper style. Yu takes them to a kimono rental, where the owner is stunned to see the famed Mikadono sisters and eagerly outfits them in exquisite garments, transforming them into radiant beauties. Yet Nico lingers aside, refusing to wear one. Yu urges her to choose among the countless options, but she resists. The owner then suggests a blue kimono to complement her tomboy aura, reminding Nico of when she longed for girlish clothes but was forced into boyish styles. At that moment, Yu selects a pink, feminine kimono for her. While the others doubt it suits her, Yu insists she will look stunning in it. Flustered, Nico relents, and when she emerges, everyone is struck speechless by her elegance, her charm rivaling any beauty worth fighting for. At the festival, Kazuki instantly draws a crowd of admirers enthralled by her stage presence. Yu, though irritated, his intent was sisterly bonding, refrains from intervening, recognizing how naturally Kazuki thrives among her fans. Amid them, one girl grows annoyed by her own friend's admiration and storms off, only for her sandal to snap. Before she can fall, Kazuki catches her like a prince, leaving the crowd dazzled by her grace. As Kazuki departs, she is suddenly pulled into the bushes by Yu, who offers her food so she can enjoy the festival. Kazuki scoffs at his gesture, but Yu instead notes her tight sandal straps, saying he knows her feet must be in pain. She snaps at him, calling him a creep for noticing. Yu finally loses patience and compels Kazuki to let him treat her feet. Seeing the raw damage from carrying someone earlier, he scolds her for never asking for help. Kazuki retorts that as everyone's prince, she cannot show weakness. Yu laughs, telling her even the strongest prince sometimes needs aid. When he asks for her foot, she surprisingly yields, and he carefully applies a bandage to prevent further harm. Meanwhile, Miwa and Nico compete in a fish-catching contest, with Nico failing miserably. Yu and Kazuki arrive, Kazuki hidden behind a comical mask, which makes the sisters laugh until Yu explains it's to avoid drawing attention. The two join in, forming a team against Miwa and Nico. Miwa jokes that Kazuki should keep the mask since her usual face always looks stern, and Kazuki can't help but smile beneath it. As the rounds progress, the sisters' competitiveness overwhelms Yu, so he slips away to prepare the next event. He heads toward the festival's grand attraction, a lotus leaf crossing challenge, where the victor earns unmatched luck and a photo with the shrine's golden guardian, the same prize the sisters once won, a cherished memory Yu now hopes to reclaim for them. When the contest begins, one competitor plunges into the water, revealing that several lotus leaves sink. Soon, others follow, tumbling in one by one. The organizers recall how the Mikadono sisters once triumphed with ease. When Yu's turn comes, he fails as well, but unlike the others, he refuses to yield. An hour later, heavy rain pours down, yet Yu persists, collapsing again and again, rejecting even the organizers' offer to grant him victory by default. Remembering how the sisters once succeeded through unity and ingenuity, he summons faith and determination, charging forward once more. This time, fortune favors him, and he finally crosses the pond, securing triumph. The organizers congratulate him and prepare the prize photo, but Yu asks them to wait so he can bring the sisters. To his dismay, he discovers the festival has closed early from the storm, leaving him alone. Realizing his selfishness, he laments failing as their organizer, recalling how the sisters never wanted to attend and how he squandered their time. Yet, to his astonishment, the three appear with umbrellas, sheltering him from the rain. Overwhelmed, he tells them he never expected them to stay, but they assure him they are not so heartless as to abandon him. Kazuki reminds him that as their festival conductor, he must continue his role, which lifts Yu's spirits. Seeing him drenched on the ground, all three sisters simultaneously offer their umbrellas, each flustered as they realize they all desire the same thing: to walk beside him. They decide to settle it with rock, paper, scissors, the loser earning Yu's side. Deep down, however, each secretly wishes to lose. Nico ends up defeated, and as she walks beside him, her heart races like a marathon. At the hotel's open bath, the sisters bathe together. Nico reflects on her racing heart and, on impulse, plays with her chest, startling the others. They quickly realize Nico wishes to grow them so Yu might notice, but scoff, convinced her mini-twins can never rival their mega melons. When they step out, they find Yu wandering, still filthy. Asked why, he admits he foolishly forgot to book a room for himself, too focused on ensuring their comfort. He bids them farewell, planning to sleep among vagrants, but Kazuki halts him. Moments later, he learns he'll be staying with them after all, as the sisters refuse to abandon him, especially when they usually share a home. Yu thanks them and says he needs a robe before showering. He stumbles upon Kazuki searching for one, and she flusters at his closeness. Then Miwa joins in, but when Yu nears her, his quiet masculinity overwhelms her composure. Just then, Nico spots a robe on a high shelf, yet being short, she fails to reach it. Yu extends over her, his scent making her nearly lose control. When Yu departs to shower, the sisters unravel, realizing how dangerous proximity might become. That night, none of them sleep, convincing themselves it's merely anticipation for their competitions, though each knows Yu's presence is the reason. Meanwhile, Yu reflects contentedly on the day, especially the photo he captured of them. At first, coaxing smiles was difficult until he clumsily soaked himself, making the sisters laugh and giving him the perfect shot. Later, searching for the old photo, he finds it gone, replaced by a note stating the true owner reclaimed it. Yet Yu feels no regret. He now knows one sister deeply cherished the trip. Content, he drifts into sleep. Suddenly, the sisters stir, annoyed by how easily he rests. They reminisce about the day, Yu choosing a flowery kimono for Nico, the very style she loved before her tomboy phase. His coaxing Kazuki out of her actor's mask to truly enjoy herself. And Miwa, still unchanged, forever eager for festival stalls despite her ineptitude, relying on Kazuki to win for her. They wonder why such conversation arose, and Kazuki remarks how at home they remain distant, each absorbed in her own world. They realize Yu has succeeded in drawing the sisters closer. Yet, as Miwa gazes at the two photos, she secretly rejoices, grateful to have her sisters back beside her, even if only for one night. All thanks to Yu, the true catalyst. After the festival, the sisters bond more deeply, like genuine siblings, warming Yu's heart. Remembering his promise to prepare them a feast, he hurries home after school. But upon opening the door, he is startled to see the girls already there, and even more perplexed at a fourth pair of shoes. Inside, he finds a girl standing before a man. The moment the man speaks, Yu realizes he is their father, and quickly offers gratitude for letting him stay. The father solemnly extends condolences over Subaru's death, yet asserts her talent will endure through Yu if he strives harder. Suddenly, Yu notices the sisters' silence. He then learns the father has been interrogating them about their progress. All three respond coldly, claiming they dominate their competitions like Bonnie Blue dominating the rankings. Unmoved, the father tells them simply to continue and prepares to leave. Yu intervenes, inviting him to stay for the feast, but the father dismisses him, stating he has already heard his daughter's updates, leaving no reason to remain. Just then, the father notices the festival mask. Yu eagerly explains how he and the sisters attended, hoping to rekindle their childhood joy and capture a photo by the Shrine of Fortune. When asked whose idea it was, Yu admits it was his. Rather than pleased, the father approaches with hostility, declaring his daughters require no foolish luck to excel. He scorns Yu as a useless, talentless disgrace to Subaru, shatters the mask in two, and snarls that there is no place in that home for dead weight. Gripping Yu's shoulder tightly, he prepares to cast him out. Before he can, the sisters intervene. They admit Yu lacks talent or accolades, yet praise his tireless devotion, saying no one could manage their home better, though the father scoffs, unwilling to accept his daughters aligning with someone so talentless. They insist they need Yu. His presence keeps them balanced and sharp. Their words strike Yu deeply. Begrudgingly, the father concedes, allowing Yu to remain, but commands his daughters to devote themselves solely to their talents, forbidding festivals or frivolities. Once he departs, Yu invites them to share his feast. But Nico tells him they cannot anymore. A week later, Yu is back to solitude, eating alone. He realizes the sisters' formidable talent stems from their father's relentless upbringing, yet he cannot forget how dejected they looked before him. Meanwhile, the sisters immerse in rigorous training, Nico in martial arts, Kazuki in acting, Miwa in chest conditioning. When mealtime comes, Miwa recalls Yu's delicate pudding and laments her bland crackers, while the others silently crave his Michelin-worthy cuisine. At home, Yu broods over the father's claim that he impedes their progress. All he ever wished was for them to dine together as true siblings. Though it feels over, he recalls his mother's faith that he could foster a happy family and resolves it is not the end. Next morning, as the sisters leave for school, Nico glances back sorrowfully, noticing Yu no longer bids them good luck. At lunch, as she unwraps her usual protein bar, her friends remark on how dull it seems. Nico replies that only the protein matters. But when she reaches into her bag, Nico discovers a lunchbox of exquisite homemade dishes so enticing her friends envy her. Elsewhere, the same occurs for Kazuki and Miwa, each uncovering a meticulously prepared meal. They all know Yu is behind it. Gazing at the food, Nico feels her heart swell, assured that Yu still cares. Meanwhile, Yu dozes in class, exhausted after rising at 4 to prepare their lunches. Back home, he is gratified to see the meals finished, and the sisters seat him for a serious talk. They tell him they will fight for his place as long as he sustains their daily lives and ensures they remain at their peak. Yu beams with pure joy, realizing they have accepted him. The next morning, Yu hands them their lunches and sends them off with warm wishes, leaving the sisters glowing inside. At rehearsal, Kazuki dons a wig for her first role as a girl, nerves pricking her composure. Nico trains when her former mentor calls, declaring he will attend her tournament and expects her victory. Meanwhile, Miwa faces a grandmaster in shogi, urged to seize her title. All three return home weary, burdened by expectations. Yet, when they find Yu cooking homemade udon and he clumsily slips, their laughter drowns their anxieties, if only for a moment. Yu serves his first attempt at udon. After tasting, the sisters agree it is strikingly average. Yet, unlike their father's teachings, they discover how even mediocrity can feel comforting. After dinner, while Yu washes dishes, Kazuki appears, offering to help. He eyes her skeptically, but she explains she wishes to cultivate her feminine side. Yu replies that washing dishes has no gender. When he asks about her audition, Kazuki admits she feels anxious, but her worries vanished the moment she entered the house and saw him, so she believes she will be fine. Noticing cuts on his fingers, she is startled, assuming he is a flawless cook. Yu confesses it is effort, not skill, that makes his food worthwhile. Suddenly, he drops a plate, but reassures her he switched to plasticware after her past accidents. While transferring dishes, fatigue overwhelms him. He collapses, nose bleeding. As Kazuki rushes to aid him, she slips, both tumbling into an accidental kiss. Kazuki rises slowly, while Yu, dazed with bliss, hurriedly apologizes, insisting it was unintented. To his surprise, she remains composed, calling it a mere accident before retreating to her room. Yu marvels at her calm, assuming she is unfazed as an actress accustomed to stage kisses, unaware that in truth, she is deeply affected. The next day, Nico asks Kazuki to turn on the TV. Kazuki sees a couple kissing on TV, hastily switches it off, and retreats. Later, she finds Miwa savoring pudding Yu made. Miwa offers her some, saying it tastes like a true love kiss. The word alone unsettles Kazuki. She storms to her room, blushing furiously. Suddenly Yu enters, and she screams at him to knock first. He apologizes, asking to discuss their kiss. Convinced she regrets kissing a talentless failure, Yu suggests they treat it as meaningless. Kazuki outwardly agrees, but once he leaves, she seethes, unable to accept that the kiss meant nothing to him. At rehearsal, Kazuki struggles with her first female role, recalling her father's demand that true actors must be versatile. Yet even beneath a wig, she still exudes princely charm. Determined, she studies her co-star's mannerisms, soft voice, teary eyes, then mimics them. When the scene reaches a kiss, Yu's image overwhelms her, and she abruptly pulls away. The coach halts practice, warning her to control her private life, or it will ruin her craft. Back home, Kazuki approaches Yu, requesting stamina-rich meals to strengthen her performance. Yu gladly obliges, relieved that their rapport seems restored. Kazuki suddenly grows bold with Yu, insisting he take her on a date Sunday, leaving him stunned. He wonders if their kiss spurred this turn. Unbeknownst to them, Nico and Miwa overhear, aghast that their eldest sister desires a date with talentless Yu. Troubled for his well-being, they retreat to their rooms. Later, in private, Yu presses Kazuki for an explanation. She confesses her struggle with an audition requiring her to play a heroine, so she wants to experience being one to embody the role authentically. Yu admires her resolve and agrees, while Kazuki cautions him not to misinterpret it and to keep it secret. Yu, however, declares that to draw out her best, the date must feel real, teasing her with talk of something special, leaving her flustered. The next morning, curiosity drives Nico to confront Yu, asking about Sunday. When he casually denies any plans, she is shocked and irritated at his lie, imagining scandalous scenes between him and Kazuki. Meanwhile, Miwa recalls overhearing Yu promise a special date, and envisions indecencies of her own, souring her mood at dinner. Yu senses the tension, unaware of the reason, while Kazuki's furtive glances only deepen her sister's fury. Yu, baffled, worries it might simply be their monthly affliction. Sunday arrives, and Yu eagerly awaits Kazuki, oblivious to the fact that Nico and Miwa, disguised in outfits chosen for each other, are secretly tailing him. Though intending to appear ridiculous in disguise, Nico and Miwa end up looking adorable. When Kazuki arrives, her feminine allure turns every head. Yu, awestruck by her beauty, feels his heart race, while her sisters fume, seething at Kazuki dazzling Yu. Kazuki urges him to begin, slipping into her heroine act, which inflates his pride as a man. They head to the aquarium, trailed discreetly by Nico and Miwa, still stunned by Kazuki's attire. At the entrance, Kazuki instinctively guides Yu down the stairs like a prince. Yu gently reminds her she must act as the princess, prompting them to switch roles. During the show, Kazuki forces exaggerated cuteness, but Yu advises her to simply enjoy herself to radiate naturally. Suddenly, dolphins splash them, and Kazuki reflexively shields Yu, drawing admiration from onlookers, further enraging the spying duo. Throughout the date, the two wrestle to reverse Kazuki's ingrained princely habits, while Nico and Miwa find relief, assuming the date is floundering. Later, Yu excuses himself to the restroom, leaving Kazuki fretting over her performance, fearing she might disappoint him. At that moment, a lecherous stranger approaches, ogling her voluptuous figure, and propositions her to join his sleazy agency, boasting of scandalous scenes. Kazuki rejects him, but he persists, until Yu reappears, exuding unexpected authority, and commands the man to leave their date at once. Yet the man persists, claiming Kazuki could thrive as a performer. Yu, fed up, declares with unwavering resolve that the scout cannot have Kazuki, because he intends to marry her and raise children with her. The bold proclamation stuns onlookers, many moved by its romantic weight. Yu urges Kazuki to disregard his words, but the yearning woman within her cannot. Inwardly, she admits he has completely conquered her heart. Yu then seizes her hand, noting its warmth as she follows willingly, leaving Nico and Miwa bewildered by the scene they just witnessed. On their way to the cinema, neither releases their grip. Passers-by remark that Yu looks like Kazuki's younger brother, prompting Yu to tighten his hold, making her squeal softly. Realizing it heightens her femininity, she squeezes back harder, leading Yu to match her again, while the hidden duo watches in disbelief. At the cinema, Yu surprises her with a romance film. Kazuki quickly recognizes the lead actress as her former senior, one who once shared her own dream of greatness. But as the film unfolds, she observes how her senior still carries the aura of her past villainous roles, failing to embody a true heroine. When the credits roll, Kazuki overhears whispers from the crowd disparaging her senior's performance, calling her unconvincing and not cute. Their harshness rattles her, dredging up memories of her father's unyielding command, "Never fail." Meanwhile, Yu realizes his blunder in choosing that film, seeing how it only deepened Kazuki's self-doubt. As they exit, he unveils their final stop, a Ferris wheel. To Kazuki, and to the two stalking sisters, it seems a trite conclusion to a date. Yet murmurs among visitors speak of a curse. If a man confesses atop the ride, the couple is destined to unite. The revelation jolts all three sisters, certain Yu is about to pursue a perfect ending. Kazuki attempts to decline, but Yu firmly escorts her aboard. Inside, her face burns crimson as she contemplates how far Yu would go to bolster her success. Memories flood back. Her career launched through modeling, sustained by stage roles as dashing male leads that earned her renown. Yet soon, triumph became obligation, and failure, forbidden. Her father's voice echoes, "Never fail." The weight of expectation leaves her terrified of embodying a heroine, a role where faltering feels inevitable. She resolves to withdraw before disaster strikes, but her spiraling thoughts shatter when she notices Yu twitching and trembling. She realizes he is petrified of heights. He insists it is not the height, but the transparent floor beneath his feet, prompting her to scold him for selecting this ride in the first place. Yet Yu insists he must make the date flawless, rekindling Kazuki's fear of an imminent confession. He suddenly rises, startling her, but his attempt collapses into clumsy failure. She urges him to sit, and though foolish, his blunder soothes her. Unlike her, Yu embraces failure and keeps moving forward. She envies that freedom. Yu admits he has failed his entire life and claims there is worth in it. Sitting beside her, he reveals candid photos from their day, each captured when she faltered in her heroine act. Yet every image radiates genuine beauty. He tells her failure not only wounds but draws people who cherish her regardless. The words pierce her heart. She denies agreement aloud, yet inwardly concedes his truth. When the ride ends, the hidden sisters are baffled, seeing Kazuki glowing with joy despite the earlier cinema debacle. Later, as they stroll by the river, Kazuki confides that through him, and this date, she can now embrace her mistakes, trusting there will be those who accept her flaws, and that she should act as her truest self. Yu adds that if she ever feels lost, she should recall this day. Flustered, she averts her eyes. The stalking pair watch uneasily, sensing their bond deepening, while Kazuki silently marvels at Yu's power to reshape her world despite being branded a failure. Suddenly, Kazuki pulls Yu close, sparking panic in him and the stalkers. Instead of kissing, she leans to his ear and whispers intimately that their kiss was her first, and she will never forget that his lips were the ones she tasted. Yu flushes crimson, while the hidden duo remain bewildered. Removing her wig, Kazuki reverts to her old self, declaring the date over as she must return to rehearsal, leaving you stunned. Yet Nico and Miwa, watching from the shadows, know Kazuki has undeniably changed, thanks to you. Later at home, Yu apologizes for being late and hastens to prepare dinner, only to be warmly welcomed back by the two girls. Shocked, he begs them to repeat it, unaware they had trailed his date with Kazuki and secretly long for the same treatment. Days later, Yu and the sisters walk to school. While prodigies like Kazuki and Miwa stroll with ease, Yu and Nico cram furiously before exams. Kazuki mocks their stupidity, but when she notices Yu leaning close to exchange notes with Nico, both she and Miwa bristle with envy, wishing they too were idiots. Suddenly, a man barrels past Yu, and a woman cries out that he is a thief. Channeling his inner protagonist, Yu gives chase, but his clumsy pursuit only makes him look pathetic. Nico intervenes with a strike, only to discover the thief is also a martial artist, making him a formidable challenge. Yu fears Nico may get hurt, but Kazuki assures him she is the female Bruce Lee. With precision, Nico strikes down the thief and returns the woman's bag, earning cheers from bystanders. Yet, seeing the woman doted on by men stirs jealousy, and she conceals her wound. Yu notices and, despite her refusal, tenderly tends to it, making her blush. The thief bolts again, only to collide with a group from another school. Their leader, Tatsumi, a national champion and martial arts prodigy, fells him in a single blow. Pedestrians murmur in awe, while the sisters recognize him as an old acquaintance. Locking eyes, Nico calls him by name, shocking Yu. Tatsumi calmly declares he has come for her. Later, Tatsumi and his squad train at Nico's dojo for a week. Her crew questions Yu's presence, but he refuses to leave after witnessing how Tatsumi fired Nico up. The vice captain explains that Nico and Tatsumi's bond traces back to their first dojo, though he warns Yu that Tatsumi spells trouble. Unlike their plain faces, Tatsumi's striking looks draw flocks of girls, fueling their envy. Nico then challenges Tatsumi to spar, as in the past. Though reluctant to hurt her, she insists, determined to prove her strength. Yu and her crew cheer her on, but Tatsumi swiftly overwhelms her, stunning all with his dominance. As she demands a rematch, Yu intervenes, chastising Tatsumi for not holding back. Though Tatsumi acknowledges the point, he eyes Yu with confusion, baffled by this meddling boy. Once tensions ease, Nico asks Yu to treat Tatsumi kindly, revealing he is her hero. She recounts how, at her first dojo, she cut through opponents with ease, provoking jealousy until boys cornered her. Then, Tatsumi crushed them all, earning her admiration ever since. Tatsumi steps forward, praising Nico's skill before shocking Yu by declaring he wants to take her with him. He explains he intends for her to join his squad. When Nico's crew reminds him his academy is all male, he reveals it has recently gone co-ed, and that he has already spoken with her father. If she truly seeks strength, he insists, she must abandon her feeble companions and join him. Offended, her team protests, but Tatsumi coldly points out that none of them match her caliber, hindering her growth. Silence follows. Nico tries to defend them, but her crew, heavy-hearted, admits she has always carried them and urges her to accept his offer. After school, Nico walks with Yu, who asks how she feels about Tatsumi's proposal. She admits his school is ideal for a martial artist, chefs to regulate diets, facilities designed for athletes. Yu marvels, though Nico quietly struggles, torn between ambition, her sisters, and Yu. In a rare moment of vulnerability, she asks to speak honestly, confessing she wants to be with him. Before Yu can respond, her crew bursts in, declaring they too want to stay with her, then scatter. Yu tells her even her team wishes she remains. Though touched, she feels sorrow that Yu never answered her confession. At dinner, Kazuki unexpectedly offers Nico her prized shampoo, while Miwa, unusually generous, shares her food. Bewildered by their sudden kindness, Yu explains that once word spread of Tatsumi's recruitment, her sisters softened, fearing she might leave. Nico warms at the thought they wish her to stay, yet when her mind drifts to Yu, uncertainty lingers over what he truly feels. The next day in the dojo, during training, Nico approaches Tatsumi and firmly declares she will not join his school. Her crew rejoices, but Tatsumi erupts in fury, demanding she abandon these weaklings and rise to greatness with him. Nico counters that she can achieve greatness along a different path. Enraged, Tatsumi demands to know what changed her into such a soft, ordinary girl. At once, Yu and her sisters flash through her mind, making her blush. Before she can respond, Tatsumi mocks her for forsaking talent in favor of mediocrity, his words cutting deep. Suddenly, Yu bursts from a locker, refusing to let her be belittled. He strides forward and declares he can prove she is with someone superior, giving her a reason to stay. Brimming with audacity, Yu challenges Tatsumi to a duel, the victor proving his strength and keeping Nico at his side. Yu boldly states he wants to be with her and will do anything to win. Nico blushes at his words, the others struck by his resolve yet anxious for him, knowing Tatsumi's power dwarfs his. The vice captain then reminds them all that Yu is the son of Subaru. Tatsumi, momentarily unsettled, regains composure, confident of victory. Yu refuses to yield, proclaiming to Nico that he is the one who will remain with her, tearing her heart in two. Back home, Yu trains with Nico, her hopes pinned on him as her future rests on his shoulders. She orders him to master footwork, yet instead of boxing steps he begins dancing. She overlooks it. Nico warns that Tatsumi's deadliest weapon is his kicks, so Yu must fight close. Suddenly, he rushes her, only to get floored by a counterpunch in shock. During a break, battered but resolute, Yu assures Nico that though far beneath Tatsumi, he refuses to yield, for what matters is staying with her. She blushes, but he ruins the moment by dragging her sisters into it. He adds that he cherishes sending them off each morning and now wants Nico to entrust everything to him. Growing insistent, he presses her to the wall, demanding honesty. Flustered, she admits she too enjoys being sent off by him and wishes to remain for her sisters. At that instant, Kazuki and Miwa reveal themselves, caught eavesdropping, and pledge to aid Yu in his training. Meanwhile, Tatsumi opens the challenge letter. Inside, Yu stipulates he may not use his dominant limbs. Having already accepted, Tatsumi must abide. Later, after training, Yu and Nico are stunned to find Kazuki and Miwa in aprons, earnestly declaring they will help him however they can. Yu is touched, though their cooking produces something so abominable the animators refuse to draw it. Devastated by their ineptitude, they sulk until Yu proposes teaching them. They feign reluctance, but Yu ropes Nico into agreeing she wants to taste their food, forcing them to comply. Yu first teaches Kazuki to boil vegetables without ruining them, praising her quick grasp of recipes, making her blush. Then he guides Miwa in peeling without injuring herself, and when she accidentally calls him Sir, she flushes crimson. Throughout, Yu marvels at how such prodigies, despite failure, remain eager to learn. They eventually prepare a flawless Thai dish, Nico's absolute favorite, unlike the censored black sludge from before. She realizes they crafted it just for her. One bite, and she sincerely praises its flavor, delighting them. When Yu tries to eat, his hand fails him, strained from relentless training. Seeing this, Miwa wordlessly feeds him, stunning the others, but she insists he eat. Yu praises the taste, and Miwa beams with joy. Refusing to lose, Kazuki follows suit, surprising Nico. When Yu compliments her as well, both sisters glow, discovering how gratifying it feels to serve with kindness, while Nico silently simmers with frustration. The next day, they continue doting on Yu during training, further irritating Nico. She tells Yu they should stop, but when he insists on pushing forward, her fire reignites, and she resumes with him. At school, Tatsumi broods over how Nico changed from a relentless warrior craving strength to someone who rejected him. Confronting her, he sneers that she is weak, hiding behind others' strength to mask her indecision. He warns that once he demolishes Yu, she will have no choice but to join his school. Later, during training, Nico notices Yu's punches gaining force and praises him, only to recall Tatsumi's words. Overcome, she apologizes for dragging Yu into this, all because of her own wavering. She reflects on how Tatsumi and her father always demanded she grow stronger, nothing more, suffocating her under expectations. Yet beneath that, she secretly longed to be seen as pretty, as feminine. Torn between the two, she deemed herself neither, convincing herself she could never be cute. But Yu assures her it was he who challenged Tatsumi, and Nico has been feminine far more often than she realizes, which stuns her. Yu admits that at first he saw her as a monster, yet was struck by how she cherished beauty, even pausing to admire flowers. Nico flares red with embarrassment, but Yu says it makes him glad to see that side of her. She apologizes for showing him something weird, yet he insists nothing about her is strange. He lifts her up, declaring the real Nico is both strong and beautiful. Overwhelmed, she punches him and curls up, murmuring that he is the only one who ever says such things. She confesses that, being indecisive, she needs his help. Yu suggests they fight Tatsumi together. She imagines a 2-on-1, but Yu already has a plan. On the day of the duel, Kazuki and Miwa struggle to focus on their events, restless to witness Yu face Tatsumi. In the dojo, all are shocked when Yu demands Tatsumi fight twice, first him, then Nico. His reasoning, if Tatsumi wants her to join to become stronger, then she is free if either of them defeats him. Everyone, even Nico, calls Yu the villain, but he tells her he doesn't mind as long as he protects her, making her blush. He vows to wear Tatsumi down and wound him, giving her the chance to win. Yet in his bravado, Nico notices Yu trembling. She clasps his hands, blushes, then smacks him, urging him on. Fired up, Yu proclaims he'll strike Tatsumi like Chris Rock, only to be flattened a minute later. No one is surprised, knowing Yu trained only a week. That leaves Nico to face Tatsumi, though she takes solace in Yu's rapid growth. She steels herself, vowing victory for her loved ones. When Yu tells her he'll be waiting at home, clarity settles over her. They square off. Nico launches first, pressing in to negate Tatsumi's kicks, but he merely blocks. Suddenly, he drives a fist into her stomach, dropping her. Unbeknownst to her, Tatsumi has studied all her bouts for years. She attacks again, only to be countered, granting him a point, one step from triumph. As the others watch in despair, Nico admits her skills are useless. Tatsumi demands she follow him, refusing to fight further. Nico wavers, conceding he may be right, that only with him can she grow strong. Yet Yu rallies her team into a makeshift cheer squad. Though embarrassed, the sight cracks her composure. She laughs, recalling Yu's words, and embraces her hidden side. In that instant, Tatsumi senses change. He braces for a punch but is stunned by a kick, a move she never attempted. Expecting a straight, he struck instead. Each strike defies prediction. Her team watches in awe as Nico abandons rigid textbook form, flowing freely beyond her limits. What Yu notices most is Nico's radiant smile. Her strikes earn 2 points, placing her a single step from triumph. Tatsumi accuses her of pretending to be someone she is not. Yet as she leaps for the decisive blow, she reveals a self he cannot recognize, because it is wholly hers. At that moment, her sisters enter, witnessing Nico's strike land clean while smiling, sealing her victory. Celebration erupts as the captain triumphs, while Tatsumi's team reels in disbelief. The district's strongest has fallen. Amid the glory, Nico glances at Yu, flustered. Grateful, she accepts the towel he offers, allowing him to wipe her sweat as he welcomes her back. Overcome, she weeps into his shoulder, embarrassed yet yearning to cry in victory just this once. Before leaving, Nico apologizes to Tatsumi for the duel's outcome, acknowledging he only wished the best for her. Though saddened, he smiles and honors his word never to ask again. She further apologizes for Yu's inept fight, but Tatsumi reveals a bruise on his leg, proof Yu had targeted one spot relentlessly, leaving him unable to evade her finishing blow. She apologizes, but Tatsumi tells her Yu fought only because he cares for her. Then, flustered, he confesses the true reason he wanted her in his school. He likes her, and wishes to be with her. Initially, Nico misunderstands, taking it as camaraderie. But when he clarifies it is love, her face burns crimson. She asks how long he has harbored such feelings. Calmly, he replies, since the day she joined the dojo and met him. From that moment, he longed to be with her. Yet now he knows the one she chose stands here, at her side. Hearing that, Nico experiences a moment of clarity. Tatsumi's words ring true. He wishes her luck and departs for his school, leaving her in quiet reflection. In her mind, only Yu's image surfaces. Despite resisting, she envisions his radiant smile and realizes more deeply her desire for a romantic bond with him. Later, walking home alone and wondering where the others had gone after her victory, Nico enters the house only to be greeted by a surprise celebration. Yu, leading the festivity, wishes to honor her triumph and her choice to remain with them. She notices the wounds on his hands. Though Yu insists he is fine, she gently touches them, urging him not to overexert himself. To repay his efforts, Nico offers to give or do anything he desires. Suddenly, Yu's mischievous side surfaces, startling her. In a rush of imagination, she panics, envisioning wild scenarios. Her scream draws the others, who misinterpret and, fearing the worst, also pledge to do anything he asks, only fueling his energy further. Yet, rather than anything untoward, Yu simply requests they all visit the theme park together. The sisters, expecting something else, feel oddly deflated. But Yu explains it has always been his dream to enjoy the theme park with his family. When the girls picture it, the scene unfolds like a date, leaving them blushing. Just then, Nico receives a call from her father. When she answers, Yu seizes the phone and boldly tells her father that the sisters deserve respite at the theme park, warning that relentless work will exhaust them. Her father demands to speak with Nico directly. Once she regains the phone, he expresses admiration upon hearing she bested Tatsumi, the nation's strongest martial artist, and admits he no longer believes she needs to transfer schools. Wondering how she became so formidable, he recalls Yu's involvement and, rather than pressing for more training, concedes to Yu's reasoning, granting them a break. Nico relays the message, and Yu declares they will go on the weekend. In the following days, the three sisters grow restless over what to wear, how to behave, and how best to captivate Yu during their theme park outing. Sunday arrives. Yu reaches the park first, waiting for them. Miwa appears behind him, covering his eyes, which he instantly guesses is her. Seeing her in a casual outfit, he compliments her, and Miwa secretly feels victorious, convinced a girlish style at a theme park is a blunder. Then Kazuki arrives, dressed like a fashion model, stunning Miwa. She chastises Kazuki for choosing such an impractical outfit, but when Yu praises her appearance, Kazuki blushes. Finally, Nico arrives, leaving everyone astonished by her transformation into a graceful beauty in a flowing dress. When pressed for an explanation, she calmly states she simply wanted to try something new. Yu compliments her elegant look, leaving Nico flustered. With that, Yu begins their theme park adventure, unaware that behind his back, the sisters, enchanted by him for months, have resolved to return the favor and charm him in turn. Yu begins with the haunted house at Kazuki's suggestion, leaving the other sisters dismayed as she secures the first outing with him. Kazuki plans to feign fragility and leap into Yu's arms at every scare. Yet when the first specter appears, she instead marvels at the makeup, instantly ruining her act. Searching for Yu, she discovers him trembling on the floor. At the next fright, he clings to her, apologizing in fear, which utterly captivates her. The sisters outside worry Kazuki has swayed him, but when Yu emerges riding on her back, terrified, they deem her attempt a failure. Still, when he thanks her, saying how happy he feels being carried, Kazuki blushes furiously, revealing she was completely won over. Miwa, however, remains confident she will succeed where Kazuki faltered. She takes Yu to a roller coaster, with the others declining. Acting coy, she pleads for him to sit beside her, and he agrees. She imagines afterward she will act frightened, letting Yu comfort her. Yet, once the ride ends, she cannot find him, until she sees him collapsed on a bench. He admits he fears roller coasters, shattering her plan. Frustrated, she laments her lost chance, but Yu tells her that despite his fear, he was happy to ride it with her. The words undo her completely. Wanting him at ease, she offers her lap as a pillow, and when he thanks her, her cheeks ignite even more. That leaves only Nico, who takes Yu to the spinning cups, convinced she can turn the wheel fast enough to lean into him, forcing him to hold her. Yet once aboard, Yu spins with such force that he collapses against her instead. As the cup whirls faster, his face drifts so close their lips nearly touch, before he topples over, leaving Nico to catch him, ending in her defeat. With their schemes failed, the sisters escort him to eat, still hoping to win him over. But instead, Yu inadvertently charms each of them one by one, until the park nears closing. Frustrated that he never once blushed, they notice a family taking a photo, and Yu admiring them. Nico realizes his sole wish was to come as a family, so she captures a picture of them all together as a keepsake. Yu thanks them warmly, but the sisters insist it is they who are grateful, for because of him, they enjoyed themselves and even grew stronger in daily life. Overwhelmed, Yu finally blushes uncontrollably, folding hard before their eyes. Watching his face turn crimson, the sisters realize he is far easier to charm than they thought. Later, on the train ride home, all fall asleep except Miwa, who gazes at her family with quiet fondness, before the weight of her looming shogi match drags her back to reality, wishing she could linger in that peace a little longer. After their date, Kazuki and Nico feel rejuvenated, both conceding that Yu was right. Even prodigies require respite. At the entrance, Yu sees them off, and though they exchange warm farewells, they remain rivals. Later in the kitchen, Yu notices Miwa forgot her lunch. Knowing how much she anticipates his cooking, he decides to deliver it. On the way, he encounters a girl reading while walking, nearly colliding with a pole before drifting toward a construction site. Yu intervenes to protect her, though she doesn't realize it and questions who he is. He offers her a healthy candy to restore energy in the sweltering heat, then departs. Intrigued, she later pulls out the same candy, impressed by him. Yu arrives at Miwa's shogi venue and marvels at her composed intensity. Beside him, a spectator remarks that Miwa is losing. Yu stays silent, unwilling to disrupt her focus. Then, as her opponent moves, Miwa licks her lips. The man exclaims she will win, explaining that her lip-licking signals victory. Moments later, Miwa's opponent forfeits, granting her triumph. Yu rushes to her side, praising how incredible she looked, flustering her. She insists she dislikes being called cool, then pulls him outside to avoid disturbing others and demands why he came. Yu presents her forgotten lunchbox, explaining he added her favorite side dishes for stamina. As he prepares to leave, Miwa's pleading eyes persuade him to share lunch with her. He agrees, stepping away to buy food for himself. Suddenly, the girl from earlier appears, seizing Miwa's lunch. She accuses Yu of weakening Miwa's performance. When Miwa reclaims it, the girl sneers that the old Miwa would never fuss over a trivial meal. Declaring herself Miwa's eternal rival, she introduces herself as Sakura. Yu, impressed, calls her remarkable for challenging Miwa. Sakura basks in his praise, but Miwa coldly reminds her that, even in practice, Sakura has never defeated her once, reducing her to nothing more than a pitiful insect. While Sakura concedes their disparity in skill, she remarks that the old Miwa would never falter against opponents, and that the greatest shogi player of this era should not stoop so low. Miwa blushes at her words, and Yu senses that deep down, Sakura admires her. Sakura then vows to overthrow Miwa and end her reign, declaring she must study her thoroughly. She joins Yu and Miwa for lunch, intent on observation, though Miwa, irritated, refuses to share her meal. Sakura produces her own lunch, revealing rice balls with a questionable side dish she insists is an omelet. Suddenly, a barking dog startles her, causing her to fling a rice ball and chase after it. Yu attempts to assist, but they both slip, ending up in a compromising position. Flustered, Sakura meets his eyes, momentarily enchanted by his looks. Miwa, watching in envy, sees Sakura slap Yu, insisting she cannot lose focus before her match. In that instant, Miwa realizes both Yu and Sakura share the same clumsy nature. Embarrassed, Sakura urges Miwa to prepare seriously for their duel. Yu chuckles at their dynamic, knowing Miwa, often isolated in class, now has someone passionate by her side. He expresses joy at seeing her endearing side, which leaves her flustered. Miwa quickly denies being Sakura's friend. Sakura insists they are rivals, but Miwa retorts that she refuses to acknowledge a rival as pathetic as her, sparking another quarrel. For as long as she can remember, Sakura has been drawn to the world of shogi. Despite the immense competition, she relentlessly studied to qualify, only to face defeat after defeat against the reigning champion, Miwa. Yet, undeterred and unseen by others, Sakura remains steadfast, declaring herself Miwa's rival. Days later, Yu rises early and unexpectedly finds Kazuki and Nico awake as well. He tells them he is going to the shrine to pray for Miwa's success. Though both claim they awoke early for other reasons, he invites them along. Upon reaching the shrine, they discover Sakura already there, praying. She notices Yu and is astonished to see the two other legendary sisters with him. Sakura admits that unlike Miwa, she lacks innate talent, so she prays for fortune. The sisters are astonished to see countless prayers written for her victory. Sakura then asks Yu how he knows the legendary Mikadono sisters, and he explains that he supports them to keep their focus. Outraged, Sakura rejects the idea of someone talentless serving prodigies, declaring that though she and Yu are alike in lacking gifts, she refuses to surrender her dream or live as another's lapdog. She vows to be the protagonist of her own life and promises to defeat Miwa, only to slip, draining her aura. Yu helps her up but also falls, landing atop her. His looks fluster her again, enraging the sisters who pray for her downfall. Yu remarks on their shared clumsiness, making Sakura blush. The first match between Miwa and Sakura begins, with Yu watching intently. The others tell him there will be 5 games and Miwa is assured to win, urging him to relax. Yet they secretly peek at his screen until he pulls them close to watch with him, flustering them into retreat. Hours later, to everyone's shock, Miwa forfeits, handing Sakura victory. Yu panics, eager to console her, but the sisters warn him not to overreact, though they are visibly displeased. That evening, Yu prepares an extravagant dinner for Miwa, which the sisters deem excessive. When Miwa returns, they all attempt to cheer her up, but to Yu's surprise, she declines the meal with a smile, saying she must prepare for the rematch. During practice, she runs out of snacks and finds Kazuki and Nico have left her protein supplements, revealing their concern. Yu also appears, presenting something special. In the kitchen, he unveils a chocolate sphere, then pours hot chocolate over it to reveal a cat-shaped vanilla ice cream, her favorite. Asking her to enjoy it with a smile, Yu watches as Miwa happily eats it, using the treat as fuel to face Sakura again. As the story advances, another week passes, and Miwa suffers her second defeat against Sakura. Yu rushes to her side, unwilling to believe she has lost twice in a row to someone she had never once fallen to, even in practice bouts. He recalls from the Mikadono sisters that title matches follow a best-of-5 format, meaning Miwa still holds a chance. Yu hurries into the hall where Miwa had played, only to encounter Sakura instead. She coldly informs him that Miwa has already left, then derides her as a washed-up failure, claiming her downfall stems from over-reliance on raw intellect rather than diligent preparation. Her arrogance only fuels Yu's anger, yet instead of lashing out, he bows and thanks her. He explains that by her own words, if Miwa trains properly and devises a sound strategy, she can stage a comeback. Deep down, he senses Sakura's sharp remarks are her way of urging him to console Miwa. Hearing this, Sakura blushes furiously, denying any such intent, but Yu calmly notes that she seemed to wait for him just to deliver this message. Before leaving, he even praises her impressive opening move and reminds her that Miwa's journey is far from over. When Yu returns home, he finds the two Mikadono sisters visibly unsettled and immediately asks what occurred. They explain Miwa did return, but soon after bolted from the house. Yu grows anxious, pointing out she was already shattered from her loss. Yet the sisters argue Miwa is far stronger than she appears, and they believe she would never allow herself to sink into despair so easily. They tried to console her, reminding her that victory required only 3 wins and that failure was not the end. But Miwa shot them a chilling glare, insisting she was nothing like them. Kazuki admitted their advice had only provoked her further, leaving them even more troubled about her state of mind. Without delay, Yu dashed out to search for Miwa across the city, asking the Mikadono sisters to remain in case she returned. Rain soon poured, but Yu ignored it, sprinting through the streets with his thoughts fixed on what had driven Miwa to such despair. Trusting his instincts, he headed to a cat-themed cafe, where he finally found Miwa quietly playing with a cat. Entering, Yu warmly expressed his relief at seeing her safe. Miwa retorted by asking what he thought she would be doing, as Yu could only picture her shivering alone beneath a bridge in the storm. A waitress offered him a towel, after which he seated himself across from her and asked if she often visited the cafe. Miwa explained she came rarely since their hectic lives left no room for pets, and Kazuki was slightly allergic. With their poor housekeeping, adopting a kitten would be cruelty, so she avoided it. Yu tried to encourage her, reminding her she had only lost 2 matches and, with her spirit restored, could surely defeat Sakura next. Instead of igniting, Miwa buried her face into the cat's fur, inhaling deeply before softly replying that professional shogi players devote their entire lives to the game, studying relentlessly because for them, shogi is the very passion that sustains them. Yu tells her he believes in her, but Miwa weeps inwardly as she confesses her bond with shogi has never been what others imagine. Since childhood, her father declared she was born with innate talent no practice could replicate. He offered her 3 board game paths, and she chose shogi, where she shattered records as the youngest champion and made him proud. Yet, in truth, she only wanted to catch up to her sisters. That was why she first picked up the board. She recalls once asking them why they worked so hard, only for Kazuki to answer that she loved shining on stage. While her sisters spoke with passion, Miwa never felt fulfillment in their words. Deep inside, she saw them pursuing dreams while she merely wielded shogi as a tool for recognition. That thought alone left her feeling like a failure beside them. Yu then understands what she meant earlier when she snapped that she was nothing like her sisters. She continues that shogi is a merciless arena, so intense one can almost feel the opponent's obsession across the board. As she speaks, the weight of her shallow resolve crushes her. Through sobs, she admits she always knew the day would come when losses would begin. Finally, breaking down, her voice trembles as Yu gently pats her head, thanking her sincerely for trusting him with this hidden side. Miwa keeps crying, saying she doesn't want to go home, and Yu replies he has no intention of sending her back so soon. His words make her blush as he holds her hand and leads her outside. All she notices around them are hotels for couples, which makes her nervous as her mind spins with uneasy thoughts of what ideas Yu might have. To her surprise, he leads her to the Hinokuma superstore, bluffing that it is the largest in the area. Miwa asks if he merely wanted to shop before heading home, but Yu explains that Kazuki and Nico believed she left because of them, so he thought it would be nice to bring gifts. Miwa warms to the idea. When Yu asks their favorite treats, she considers Kazuki might enjoy something bittersweet, and since she often drinks coffee jelly would be perfect. For Nico, who has recently been obsessed with cute items, Miwa suggests a small, adorable cupcake. Yu agrees, proposing they bake with natural sweetener instead of sugar, and together they purchase the ingredients. Later, they head straight to the school. While Yu marvels at how they managed to enter so late, Miwa questions why they are even there. Yu explains he wants to cook first so the surprise at home won't be spoiled, quickly setting up in the school kitchen. Miwa watches, teasingly asking how he's so skilled, joking that he must be a failure hiding a secret talent. Yu dismisses it, claiming he's simply bad at most things, which makes his average cooking seem impressive. He recalls how, as a child, everything felt difficult, and he could never match his mother's talent, eventually avoiding her altogether. One day, he cooked breakfast for himself, and when his mother tasted it, she praised him for making such a delicious meal. That single compliment filled him with joy, and he kept practicing to see her smile again. But no matter how much effort he poured in, his dishes always tasted poor despite looking presentable. With his mother always too busy to notice, he eventually gave up. Everything changed when she was hospitalized. During a visit, Yu asked if she needed anything from the store. At first, she turned away, but as he started to leave, she quietly admitted what she truly wanted was something he had cooked. Yu immediately consulted her doctor about allergies and dietary restrictions, then devoured every cookbook he could find, enduring countless failures until he finally baked something his mother genuinely loved and even requested more of. From then on, Yu continued preparing meals throughout her stay. Over time, realizing his cooking could bring joy to others, as it had to her, his skills steadily improved. He told Miwa she likely felt the same when buying gifts for her sisters, picturing their reactions. Miwa instantly denied it in embarrassment, but Yu brushed it aside and asked her to help with the final touches. As they worked, he reminded her of her confession at the cafe, that she felt shallow and unlike her sisters, and told her that even the desire for recognition proved she wished to make her father proud. Miwa flushed scarlet, protesting it wasn't her motivation. Yet Yu added that it was perfectly fine, for some strive forward simply to bring pride to those they love. At that moment, he noticed the gifts were ready and remarked how much her sisters would love them. The thought of making both her sisters and her father proud again turned Miwa's face as red as an oven. Later, after Yu collapsed into sleep from exhaustion, Miwa remained awake, reflecting on the day. Spotting a marshmallow nearby, she shaped it into a sweet that faintly resembled Yu, thanked it as though it were him, and playfully tapped its forehead. When they return home, the two Mikadono sisters scold Yu for being so late, but Miwa steps forward to defend him, admitting it was her fault and presenting the gifts they had prepared, explaining Yu had helped. She even apologizes for being harsh earlier. When the sisters ask if she truly cooked them, Yu quickly affirms, adding he only assisted. They begin tasting. Kazuki finds hers delicious, while Nico complains hers looks fancier. Kazuki dismisses it, saying excess decoration isn't ideal. Nico refuses to concede, insisting hers took more effort, until Yu cuts in sharply, asking them not to turn a peace offering into another quarrel. Miwa then turns to Yu, apologizing for the trouble and shyly presents the one she made for him. He gratefully accepts the cute gift as the sisters observe, teasing that it resembles him, except the hairline looks like it's receding. Realizing her blunder, Miwa flushes scarlet. The next day arrives for the third match. This time, Miwa holds her head high, determined to face her opponent with full resolve. Suddenly, she hears Yu's voice and turns to see him with her sisters, there to cheer her on. Yu tells her they will be watching the live stream, rooting for her, asking her to give her best. Kazuki encourages her to defend her title, but Miwa calmly replies she no longer cares about that. Her sisters shift uneasily, and Yu grows concerned, asking if she intends to continue playing at all. Miwa only smiles, saying she won't tell them, before walking away. On her way, she recalls Yu's words about improving by making others smile through his cooking. She remembers her sisters and father recognizing her talent. Nearing the game hall, she thinks that if she wins today, it will also be a victory for Yu. Glancing at their family photo with him in it, she vows to make them all happy. Inside, the atmosphere is tense. The champion is one loss away from forfeiting her title, and Sakura looks poised to seize her goal. When Miwa slides the door open and takes her seat, her aura is entirely transformed from the last two matches. Sakura immediately senses it. Miwa has returned to the prodigy she once was, radiating the same brilliance as the day they first met. That realization drags Sakura into childhood memories. She recalls being inept at everything, once breaking a friend's doll, which left her ostracized until all her companions drifted away. Alone and dejected in her room, her father eventually took her to her grandparents. There, the old couple found her coloring giraffes and praised her, but she startled her grandfather by insisting they were cats. For reasons she never understood, the old man suddenly fetched a shogi board and asked her to play, since no one else would. Sakura tried, but instead of moving pawns forward as intended, she pushed them sideways. Her grandfather explained that every piece was crafted with its own unique motion. Though she found it foolish and the rules peculiar, one remark from her grandfather lingered. He explained that pawns advance one step at a time, but can ultimately ascend into mighty generals, like a pawn transforming into a queen in chess. Enthusiastic, he elaborated until his wife reminded him that Sakura was merely 3 years old. Yet those words stirred her heart, prompting her to take it seriously and ask him to teach her properly. Seasons passed, and while other children played in parks, Sakura remained with her grandfather, mastering shogi. In time, she surpassed him, forcing the old man to concede. After years of training, she finally earned a place in a children's shogi tournament. Step by step, she advanced like a fragile pawn striving for her goal. For a clumsy girl who often broke things, this game became her beacon. At the 49th Junior National Shogi Championship, she faced Miwa, a prodigy who nonchalantly licked her lips before demolishing Sakura without using even a fraction of her allotted time. The crushing defeat left her devastated, questioning if effort alone could ever bridge the gap between her and such talent. By middle school, her classmates mocked her poor grades, sneering that with such a dull mind she could never excel in shogi. Suddenly, Miwa appeared, turning the ridicule on them, pointing out that only one of them had ever won even a single game out of 5. Her sharp words sent them fleeing. Then she turned to Sakura, admonishing her to stand up for herself. But when Miwa looked closely, she found Sakura weeping. Startled, Miwa apologized. But Sakura's sorrow wasn't what she assumed. What cut deepest was the feeling of being a failure, and Miwa's intervention felt like pity. Miwa attempts to console her, and her words about pawns make Sakura recall her grandfather's lesson on advancing step by step. Miwa continues encouraging her, praising how she maneuvers pawns with mastery. At last, Sakura brightens, seeing herself as that humble pawn. She straightens, boldly declaring that even a pawn can claim the spotlight, calling Miwa her rival. Miwa simply stares, baffled by her strange declaration. The scene shifts to the present. The third match begins. Sakura has pursued Miwa all this time, though the prodigy never once looked back. Now, she feels relief knowing Miwa is finally facing her with sincerity. The match commences, counters exchanged relentlessly, the audience unable to foresee the victor. As tension peaks, Sakura takes a sip of water to steady herself. Her grandfather's words echo in her mind as she locks eyes with Miwa, prepared to fight to the end. But when Miwa licks her lips, Sakura knows it is decided. Miwa wins. Yet instead of despair, Sakura resigns with a smile. Miwa seizes the fourth match as well, leading to the decisive 5th game. Her sisters remain glued to the broadcast, anxious for the finale. Nico sighs, wishing they could watch it live. Yu, brimming with spirit, appears in a cheerleader outfit only to be scolded by the Mikadono sisters for such antics. Meanwhile, the ultimate showdown begins, the so-called pawn striving to seize the spotlight against the timeless prodigy. On the sidelines, Nico trains with fiery resolve, unwilling to be outshone by her sister's triumph. Even Yu and Kazuki pour themselves into their pursuits. As the story progresses, Miwa descends the stairs, appearing as the victor. While the press hounds her with relentless questions, she ignores the cameras, spots Yu in the crowd, and rushes straight to him, brushing past every microphone thrust her way. When she reaches him, she finds the boy in tears. She gently urges him to breathe, and Yu does so in the most comical manner. She had endured it all just so he wouldn't cry. Once he brightens, he congratulates her on defending her title. Miwa recalls their time together and realizes that his radiant smile was all she ever wished to see. She embraces him, and just as her sisters approach, she impulsively kisses Yu's forehead. Instantly, she freezes, bewildered by her own action. While gathering her belongings, Miwa's English uncle and aunt arrive from her exchange program days, astonishing everyone, including Yu, with her fluency. Thinking quickly, Miwa excuses it as a foreign custom, explaining that a forehead kiss is merely a gesture of gratitude. She asks if it startled them. Though her sisters see through the ruse, Yu seems convinced. After the couple departs, Miwa's sisters shower her with praise, telling her how proud they are. Overcome, she hugs them tightly, planting kisses on them as well. Yu captures the moment on camera while Sakura watches quietly from afar. She glances at Yu, wondering what a mediocre boy like him is doing there, then smiles, hoping one day a pawn like her will finally step into the spotlight. The next morning, Nico hones her strength by smashing tiles as usual, while Miwa engages her shogi AI, even conversing with it. Yu prepares a vegetable juice for Kazuki, but after one sip, she deems it revolting, calling him a failure. She nearly returns it for him to drink, but halts, wary of an indirect kiss, and gulps it down herself. When Miko returns from practice, Yu offers her a towel, noting it carries her favorite scent, calling it kawaii, cute. Soon after, Yu brings sweet snacks for Miwa to replenish her glucose and offers her a spoon. When she complains she cannot eat while playing, he sits beside her and feeds her himself. Yu recalls his late mother's wish for him to one day have a happy family. As the sisters prepare to leave, he lingers at the door. Though late, they wait for him, and together they repeat their farewell just as in the past. Quietly, he wonders if this is the family his mother had wished for, certain that one day he will know the answer. That night, returning from grocery shopping with Sakura, Yu faces the Mikadono sisters' displeasure. Sakura insists she wants to uncover the secret of her rival Miwa's strength and boldly declares she will stay the night. But that is where this video ends. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel.